Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with yet another video of the Arizona Sports Fan. What is going on, guys? How are you doing? It is the Arizona Sports Fan, also known as Mike. So today I have a very special show for you today. We have two special guests. I'm going to go ahead and introduce them here shortly, but we're going to talk everything draft. Right now, we're at the peak of draft night. Obviously, draft is tomorrow. There's so many different rumors going around, and we're going to go ahead and see if we can dive in today and talk about all that stuff. We'll answer your questions. We'll have discussions amongst each other. We're just going to have an overall great show, guys. I'm super excited. Everybody's piling in. What's going on, everybody? Say hi on the comments just to make sure that we know that you're here. First off, I want to go ahead and introduce to you. You guys all know him. You know, he's been on the show a lot. So first we have Moro. What's going on, Moro? How you doing, buddy, man? How you been?
How you doing, Red Sea? Thanks, Mark, for being here again. I'm doing well. Hope all Red Sea are doing well. Pump up for this off season and upcoming draft, and that's what we're going to talk about, right, Mike?
Heck yeah, man, dude. I'm super excited about this. You have people, that been missing you, man. It's been a while since you've been on the show. Just overall good time. We're going to have a very good time here today talking about everything Arizona Cardinals and all the draft. Hank Hill has something to say to you down here if you want to look at the comments. He's your #1 supporter, but we also do have one other person that we want to go ahead and introduce to you. He is new to the YouTube family here, talking everything Cardinals. He actually does have a variety of different Cardinal, content, stuff like that. So I'd like to introduce to you guys. His name is Peter.
Hey guys, thank you very much, Mark. Thank you for having me. It's my first time. I'm very excited about this. I'm a diehard
Peter Parker.
Absolutely, man, dude. It's been a pleasure, man. Thank you so very much for coming on. I wanted to make sure that we had Cardinal YouTube content people here ready to talk about Cardinals, everything Cardinals. Peter, if you want to take about a minute or two, shout your YouTube channel out on the
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, thank you. I'm just starting out, so I do appreciate whoever did support me. So I'm only up to like 103 subscribers, but I just did it. It's called Sports Hot Rumors and Debates. And I'll be talking about everything, but I'm a diehard Cardinal and diehard Diamondback fan, even though I'm from New York. But I talk about all sports, so hopefully you guys subscribe, and you'll see more than the video how I am. And again, I appreciate all the getting me on the show. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. What I really like about your content, man, is because you don't give a flying, bleep. You have my show, which is like the kind of like the PG-13 show, where I try my best to like cuss, monetize, button up, and then we have the Peter show, and then we have your show on the other hand, which you're like, you don't care, it's this and that, which honestly I love the rawness of it all, and overall I think it's great, man. I think it's great that we have a community of Cardinal fans, which didn't always be here, man. When I started this show about a year and a half ago, there was probably about one or two, but I kind of took it upon myself and say, hey, I want to start a community. Let's go ahead and get this going. And honestly, I'm super glad I found you two, so we can go ahead and start off here. What I wanted to first talk about, guys, I know Moro has something to say real quick. He has a sponsorship that you guys want. Obviously, you guys are seeing something down here. Scroll down. Moro, if you want to do that before we go ahead and get started on this Cardinal talk.
Absolutely. Before I mention that, hopefully I'm not glitching like the last time we did. So hopefully I'm not. Well, anyways, this, as you can see here, is called iBlazin. This is the phone company who I reached out to try to get a promo code for up to 5 people and trying to, share as everyone as possible, especially with Mike and Peter right here with the show. And yeah, make sure if you're on a new phone case for, fresh start during this, tough times, refresh yourself. This is a time. Use this code for a 10% off on a phone case like laptop, Apple Watch, iPhones, Androids. There you go.
Cool, man. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so very much. All right, let's go ahead and dive into it here, man. We got a lot of stuff that I want to get into. I kind of wanted to, take it where like I ask a question. If you guys have a question, please feel free to shut me up. I'm completely cool with it. Then we'll have both of us have like our own takes and stuff like that. So that's how I kind of wanted to start this going here. Now, a little background, actually, Peter, if you don't mind me asking here. I know you said that you're from New York, man. That's pretty crazy. How did you become a Cardinal fan?
Everyone asked the same question. I was a big Jerry Rice fan, so once he retired, I had to pick a team. And I don't know what made me go with the Cardinals, but maybe because I was a Diamondback fan and I would watch the Cardinal games. I've been to Arizona a few times. So I don't know what it is. The fans, the stadium, it's a great atmosphere, but it's been rough for the last couple of years.
Oh yeah, man. Absolutely. I think it's something that you pointed out just before we went live here, and I wanted to go ahead and bring it up here, saying that the DeAndre Hopkins trade really changed the mood of this offseason. You want to go ahead and elaborate on that a little bit?
Just if you looked at Arizona last year, right, and you looked at Kyler, besides the offensive line, it's amazing how much pressure they put on Larry Fitzgerald to still be the number 1 guy. And this guy's in his mid-30s still putting up numbers that are insane. So now they need somebody to take that pressure off of him, right? And now having probably the best receiver in football changes everything. Now Kyler, there's a lot of different players. If Larry gets the and Kirk can stay healthy, everything changes from there, right? That's a whole big different ballgame. And if they draft the guy Lamb, that's who I'm looking for. That's what I've been.
Awesome. So that's what I want to go ahead and segue into this next conversation here. The next topic of choice here I wanted to talk about was, who would you take, 8th overall? Now, we're not going to talk about trades. We're going to go ahead and make sure we have a little segment specifically, like towards, a little bit later on in the show. But 8th overall, if the Arizona Cardinals end up staying at the specific spot, who do you guys want? And I'll go after you guys. Whoever wants to take the reign.
Mauro, you can go first.
Come on, Mauro. You got
I go first.
Yes,
All right, because I'm seeing my screen is kind of glitchy, so hopefully everyone's seeing. But anyways, for the pick, I would select Isaiah Simmons, linebacker from Clemson, national champion, to be the Cardinals.
Okay, perfect. If he's available, that's the person, like, hands down, that's what you would get, right? That's fair. Okay. I respect that. I like that. I like it.
Yes, sir.
All right, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, I think if that's the big question when you just said if, right? Because that right now, some people are talking that he's about to fall. Now, if he falls, I'm still going to stay with my guy. And the reason I keep saying CeeDee Lamb is because I'm worried about how Kirk and how Larry's going to perform after a while, right? You can never have enough talent at the receiver position. So if Kirk doesn't do what we expect and Larry just is that, what's going to happen then? Then we're expecting a bunch of rookies to step up. The sophomores, really. Butler didn't even play last year. Jeff Field wasn't. And Keyshawn Johnson's the guy to me that I can see stepping up a little bit more. But Isabella only had a few catches. So I'm looking for more the receiver position and just the fact that Kyler and Lamb know each other more.
Right. No, absolutely. I mean, honestly, I'm a big fan of CeeDee Lamb myself here as well. If you would have asked me about 2 weeks ago, I probably still would have said CeeDee Lamb. But right now, I hate to say it because, I do want CeeDee Lamb. There's no doubt in my mind that doesn't say that I don't want CeeDee Lamb. But thinking about it, like needs and stuff like that, I would probably have to go Isaiah Simmons as well if he's available. But I think what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to, like, brace myself because I don't think CeeDee Lamb's going to get picked up and I don't want to get disappointed. I think that might be what it is. What I really want is CeeDee Lamb. What I would, be happy with is Isaiah Simmons or, Okuda or whatever. But honestly, I think I'm trying to brace myself to be like, okay, so it's not CeeDee Lamb. I think that's what I'm doing. I'm reversing psychology myself. I think that's what I'm trying to do. But honestly, CeeDee Lamb would be a great prospect to get. I mean, you said it yourself, Christian Kirk. He was hurt his rookie year. He didn't really have the explosion that we thought, he was going to. He's not really physical. He's not the tallest person out there, which you don't really have to be. But the physicalness of being a wide receiver is something that you really need to take into account. And I feel like that's with Kirk.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
He can be a great second wide receiver or maybe even a slot wide receiver, depending on how Cliff Kingsbury wants to use him. But I think bringing CeeDee Lamb would definitely be a great opportunity to not have them double DeAndre. Because, there's Larry, but let's also keep in mind, Larry might retire next year, and was it 36 now, or is it going to be 37 this season?
He's going to be 38. He's in his mid-30s, and the guy,
37.
He even said it to himself that he lost a step. And honestly, his losing a step is still better than a lot of people, but it's just unfair to continue to put the pressure on that guy. Even when he was in his best, he had Bolden, right? He had Bolden to help him out. You need somebody to help out. But look, let's make believe Simmons doesn't fall and they don't get Lamb. Do you do the safe bet and get the offensive lineman, right? You go for Wirfs? Like, what do you do?
Honestly, I'm gonna say this, and that's a really unpopular opinion, and I don't know why a lot of people like or why he fell as much as he fell. Andrew Thomas, I feel like Andrew Thomas is probably one of the best offensive lineman prospects that are out there, but for some reason, something happened along the lines where Jedrick Wills kind of came out of nowhere out of Alabama, and everybody's super high up on Jedrick Wills. Tristan Wirf was up there too, but I think after the combine, his stock skyrocketed, and it was insane. But I still think the most ready tackle out there is going to be Andrew Thomas, personally.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big dude, you know. Anytime you can get somebody, you need to block for Kyler. Kyler was running for his life last year. I just see this is such a big stacked draft that if you look into the third round, there's a guy called Throckmorton who I think is going to be there in the third round also. There's a few offensive linemen that can play later on. So I think you go with the best talent, not just what you need at that point. You know,
I agree.
When are we going to get the number 8 pick again? Hopefully not for a long time that we're going to be in the top 10.
True. No, you're absolutely right. I think that a lot of people are kind of wanting to go the safe route, and that's going to be the offensive lineman at that point. In our days, we've seen a lot of them bust, whether it's a Levi Brown or what was the other guy's name? Williams. I forgot. He ended up getting traded to or getting picked up from the Patriots. I forgot his name. Somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, but he was also an offensive lineman that got picked up, or Cooper. Cooper.
Yeah. Cooper, yeah.
Yeah, he ended up busting as well. He didn't end up doing good, and we picked him up super high in the draft. And when we got Levi Brown, wasn't it a decision between Levi and was it Adrian Peterson?
Yeah. The thing is that like sometimes they get panicky, right? When you draft, and sometimes you start looking and you feel like you need to fill that hole. But now a lot of people, you just don't need to fill a right tackle. A lot of these offensive linemen are versatile. So you can move people around, right? You can do that. So you can't just kind of trap yourself into one guy. And then all of a sudden, then if something happens, now Kyler again has to put a lot of pressure. Look at David Johnson last year. Everybody expected David Johnson a few years ago to be amazing. And all of a sudden, we were dying for a running back at one point. I believe we signed Alfred Morris. It got rough at one point before we had Drake.
Oh, yeah. Zenner. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Okay, perfect. No, so I definitely see where you're coming from. So we have CeeDee Lamb, Isaiah Simmons, and somebody who's kind of like stuck in between because he doesn't want to get hurt during draft day. I completely get it, man. So let's talk about there's been so many rumors out there, guys, that people are saying that the Arizona Cardinals are going to trade out of their position to either get a second round pick. I mean, I've been kind of preaching this the whole time, but I've also been saying let's wait to see who's going to be available at the number 8 spot. I think it's really important to find out who it is. If it's an Okudah that falls to you, it's a Simmons that falls to you. Honestly, Derek Brown to me, I'll get into him a little later on. I'm scared to pick him up, and I'll explain that a little later on as to why I'm scared. But what do you guys think about trades? Like, what are different trade options out there, and what would you want in return?
Mauro, you can go first.
All right. Well, trade down is definitely risky because you don't. Well, this is kind of basketball. Like the Phoenix Suns, they have 7 overall pick, and they trade down for like 10, 11. Yeah, and it wasn't really a success, but we can't really say a bust yet. But we definitely, you don't want to like risk it. So if we have the position that we got from the overall 2019 season, that we should definitely use the benefit that also that we didn't won the last game against the Rams. So, and definitely the top 10 or like the top 10 players out of college, unless people just select some underrated players. But we definitely need a pro-ready player, and the Cardinals need to use this benefit because we've been busting around first round picks a lot.
Oh yes.
So we gotta be very, very careful and be better in decision making at the time when the draft comes.
Okay, so question for you, Mauro, and we'll get to Peter's answer here shortly. Here, so let's say Okudah's not there, Simmons isn't there, Wirfs ends up going. Who do you go then? Derek Brown ends up going to Carolina. Where would you go at that point? Jedrick Wills is still there. Mekhi Becton, he's still there. CeeDee Lamb's still there. Obviously, who would you go at that point of all the top 3 prospects in the eyes of the national people, or the defensive prospects? I apologize.
Well, it's not. We will definitely not like to see that, but hopefully that case happens. Then we definitely have to go with offensive tackle, Jedrick Wills.
Okay, so you would go defensive tackle then. So you would go the safe route. Okay. All right, Peter. I don't know if you remember the question prior. Go ahead and answer that question.
Honestly, I get really weird with trading down, right? Just for the fact that it really depends on who we trading with. So if we're gonna trade with, it would probably be like somebody like the Broncos or maybe the Falcons, like the team, like the Broncos need a receiver, right? They're dying to get a receiver. So I don't think the Broncos are gonna be able to get a receiver if they stay where they are. So I wouldn't make it for me. I have to stay with number 8 just for the fact that, again, I'll repeat myself. You need to get the best player available. So if you go to 15, maybe we can probably get a guy like Kinlaw or something like that on defense who is really good. But what else are we going to get? We're going to get a second-round pick, which is fine, right? We got a second-round pick. I can see because we have a little holes on offensive line and defense. I get that. But again, I'm going to continue to stay stubborn here. You need to get the best player available. So trading is always risky. So, yeah, you're adding a pick, but, again, who knows about that pick? Look at Arizona last year. They missed out on so much on getting a guy like Metcalf, right? They had a couple of picks, and that killed me because I was making videos about Metcalf the whole time. And it was just like, what are you doing? So you went for another guy. You had picks don't necessarily mean you're going to do the right thing, you know?
Very true. 100% true. Yeah. I mean, if we got Metcalf last year, we wouldn't be in this pickle that we're in right now with, trying to getting CeeDee Lamb. Although CeeDee Lamb, we're still going to talk and glow about how great his hands are in the next DeAndre Hopkins, but we won't have to worry about that if the Metcalf happened. You know what I mean? When we ended up getting
Metcalf, everything changes. 100%.
100%. Absolutely. Then we can start thinking more, let's go defense, let's go offensive line. It would have been a smaller portion as opposed to a lot of fans being separated, being like, we need a wide receiver because of this, we need defense because of that. I don't think anybody's wrong.
We have to look at the division we're in, right? Like we're in the toughest division. And, if there is a receiver available, assuming there's no trades and everything, right? Because, the Jets need a trade. The Jets need a receiver. The Raiders need a receiver. So we're not sure. If Arizona does get Lamb and the Jets go for Judy and then all of a sudden the Raiders get Ruggs, then the Niners are in a little bit different position. Maybe they get a defense, right? It all depends. But for me, again, Arizona needs to make sure that they stay with guys that are talented and that are in these top. There's a reason that Lamb and Brown and where all these guys are there. The more you trade a little bit later, the more risk you're getting at these other players that they may not do as well. The number in the top 10 is really good to me.
Right. No, absolutely. 100%. I like the idea of getting either defense or wide receiver in the first round. And, well, I guess at that point, second round wouldn't, if we stay at the 8th, we wouldn't get a second round. But we could still probably get a decent wide, what am I trying to say? I'm sorry. Offensive tackle. Wow. Offensive tackle in the third round. That's still, in the top 100 players that are available out there. And we might get the next, diamond in the rough. You never know. Right now, our offensive line is set as it is. I get we need depth. I get we have injury-prone players currently right now, and that's why we have the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th rounds available to get anybody else.
You use your 8th pick just to build depth. You know what I mean? Like I get it that you need that position, but just to get security, you're going to use your 8th pick on that. I'd rather get a defender. If we're not going to go for a receiver, give me a defender because that's where we need definitely more, right? Because you can see Chandler Jones is literally carrying the team on himself at some point. Patrick Peterson lost the step, so hopefully he gets back next year and looks a little bit different. But he doesn't look like the Patrick Peterson of old. I can tell you that much.
Right. I'll just say this: if you're picking in the top 10, you have to get a game changer. You have to get somebody that's going to come in day one and he's going to change your either defense or your offense. That's just 100%. And I feel like if we do go Wills, Jedrick Wills, I'm not even going to put Mekhi Becton in this. Jedrick Wills, I feel like he's going to have some moments of rookiness. Obviously, it's going to happen. They're rookies. They're going to have to take some time to accommodate to the collegiate level to the NFL level. I just don't feel like he's going to be a plug-in player. He's going to be somebody that they're going to have to groom and get better at that point. That's just my personal opinion about it. I would love a game changer, especially at 8.
Yeah, that's what you have to get. But look at the 49ers. The 49ers are stacked, right? The 49ers, and they're just going to get better. And the Seahawks are just going to get better. So the Rams are a good team. So we have and we've got to play these teams 2 times a year. So it doesn't let up. So you got to make sure. We played the 49ers really well last year. When Drake was there, we played them really well. It came down to get very close. So, and I believe we played Seattle very well too. So, if we can get one or two guys besides Hopkins,
we won.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
They even did well when Brett Hundley was playing, right? Even though I know Hundley's having problems right now, but even that just goes to show you how the offense was doing well because Brett Hundley fit in that offense. It goes to show you how good our offense could be. So with Hopkins and another receiver, it's just going to be scary as hell. And 49ers got great defense. So you need to have all the offensive weapons that you can to go up against that team. They're no joke, man.
Yeah, 100%, man. I completely agree with you. I think during the off season here, we did really good in getting some defensive pieces here. Kennard, I'm really happy about Kennard. I like Phillips. Campbell's the one I don't know very much about, being completely 100% honest, but I like the Kennard. Let's see if he can go ahead and translate and, get opposite side of Chandler Jones. You can only hope, right? Fingers crossed. Yeah. Now, my next topic here, if you don't mind, there was all these rumors which ended up coming out to be false, saying that Christian Kirk should be traded. Obviously, it's false. The sources weren't real. But would you guys do it? Like, is that something that you guys would be interested in doing if we got a second-round pick out of it? Moro, we'll start with you.
That's a no. That's a negative. First of all, I believe this is going to be his third year, right? How many contracts he has? 3 or 4 years?
I think it's so. He's a second rounder, so I think it's 4. I think the first rounders get 5, or they get 4 with the option of 5. Yeah. So let's go 4.
Yeah. So yeah, let's say it's 4, and this is the 3rd year. This is his moment. Then if he doesn't shine this year, then probably that's a possibility for next year. But if I were the GM, I would definitely keep up. I would definitely keep up Kirk and do not trade for a second-round pick.
Okay. Pierre?
Yeah, it's the opposite for me because if he doesn't perform, you're not getting anybody then, right? For him, you're not going to get the pick you want. And then for me, listen, I'm a fan of Kirk, but last year scared me. I'm not going to lie to you. He had that game against Tampa Bay, and you're like, wow. And then all of a sudden, it's just like there's no excuse to have 3 touchdowns the whole time. And, with that offense, again, you have to have something. I think if you could have got a second round, I would have done it. And I get it. If you don't get CeeDee Lamb, then what are you going to do? But that's because I'm saying get CeeDee and trade Kirk. But if you're not going to get CeeDee, then you have to keep Kirk.
Yeah,
then
exactly.
You really need the Kirk to be there. Can he be good? Absolutely. All the pressure's off of him now, right? Hopkins is there. So there's no excuse for Kirk this year. He has to stay healthy. That's the main thing.
110%, man. So that's my thing. I've seen a lot of people saying like we have a stacked wide receiver group right now. Why would we go CeeDee Lamb? I mean, obviously we said our points already. We told our reason as to why we think we should get CeeDee Lamb. But it's weird to me that people are still mocking getting in the mock drafts. I apologize. Getting wide receivers later on in the rounds. Like if we really do not need wide receivers, then why even waste a later round wide receiver if we're good and we're set? Right. I mean, obviously we're good and we're set. I would rather use those picks into getting up in more offensive linemen, more defensive pieces. You know what I mean? It just makes no sense to me. So one side of the coin is I just don't think that they want to use their 8th overall pick for CeeDee Lamb, which I don't understand why. He's a game changer. He's the next DeAndre Hopkins, which people are saying. He doesn't care. He's super physical. He's not going to shy away with any competition. He will put his body at risk, and that's what we need. We need straight ballers, and that's what CeeDee Lamb is. To tell you the difference between Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb, to me, I'm like this CeeDee Lamb and this Jerry Jeudy just barely because of the physicalness, because of what he puts himself in the situation when there's a ball in the air.
It's the yak, right? It's the yards after the catch for me. Is that what he has? I read the video the other day. He has that it factor. That Jeudy is a beast, right? He runs routes better than anybody I've seen in a long time. But Lamb has this thing about him where he'll get you that extra 5 or 10 yards, and that's going to mean a lot. So Lamb has this ability where almost like Samuel in the Niners, where he don't care. He's going to go at you. He's going to put his shoulder down, and that's what you want from these receivers. And now, like you said it perfect, man. Like if you wait for the 3rd round to get a receiver, so now you're doing the same thing you did last year with getting these guys like Butler and Isabella and all that stuff. So now you're going to have all guys, young players that you still have to teach. If we are going to get a receiver, you get the best receiver available, and then
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. But if you decide not to go wide receiver, then don't even waste your pick. Yeah, don't waste your pick in the seventh, the sixth, the fifth. Yeah, I understand that the wide receiver group is stacked, but there's no point in wasting a pick if we're set. Like that's the route they want to take 100%.
Absolutely.
Okay. Perfect. Anything, Moro, that you want to go ahead and add to that? I know you hate CD Lamb. I'm just joking. You don't hate CD Lamb. Just kidding.
Nah, I know you're pretty obsessed with CD Lamb, but it can't happen. It can't happen. Like
exactly.
We have Kyler and CD connection where everyone says the team chemistry also that counts too. That probably can during the combine they pretty much talk about probably like the GM and coach probably talk about how was your relationship chemistry with Kyler Murray. That probably might count. Who knows? But that's the fate till the draft.
Absolutely, man. Honestly, last year I was super nervous, and the reason why I was super nervous during the day before the draft is because I hated to believe that we were going to give up on a quarterback after 1 year when I did not feel like at all anything was his fault. Now, obviously, I'm happy, about the results. I'll shut myself up if I, had a time machine. I'll slap myself and be like, hey, it's going to work. Let's go. Don't worry about it. But this year, it's just I'm so confused in which route we're going to take that I don't know. Like, I'm in for a surprise. I would hate to trade down. I do not want to trade down. I don't want to get a tier 2 player when we can get a tier 1 player just for a second round pick. I don't know, guys. I'm super nervous about this draft. What do you guys think about Derrick Brown? I want absolutely your honest opinion about Derrick Brown, and I'll let you know why I'm scared to get Derrick Brown.
Mario, you want to go first?
At this time, you can go.
Oh, okay. I mean, listen, I've watched the guy a few games, and then I've watched a lot of highlights on him. And I'm not going to be honest with you. On film, he looks like an animal, right? The way he looks like he needs to be double teamed, throws guys out the way. Again, it'll just help the Cardinals. It will be well. I don't think that's where we need to go. I think the Panthers are getting him anyway. But it will help Phillips and it will help Jones, right? It'll help us a lot if we get him. If you look at Arizona last year, not only was the defense bad, but if our offense went 3 and out, it was rough because we couldn't hold somebody two series in a row. It was so bad to watch. True. So anytime we can get a defender, and I like Brown. I didn't watch him too much in college, but he looks good to me. But that's my honest opinion. I don't want to say something I'm not too sure about.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. So the thing with Brown to me here, and it's not so much like his fault. Absolutely not his fault at all. I'm just honestly scared of the busts that we've been getting so far, whether it's Kandichi or there was another player I had in mind here that just completely blanked. Who else did we get? Wow,
that's how bad it was.
Yeah, exactly. That's how bad it was. Wow, I'm completely blanking right now. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't get Quentin Williams is what I want to talk about. Last year, Quentin Williams was either the number 1, the 2nd, or the 3rd. He didn't have the best year with the Jets. Now, it probably isn't 100% his fault. Completely honest, the Jets aren't the best team. I mean, obviously we're not either. We can't gloat. But it's maybe not his fault. He did have some injuries. I just fear that it's going to become something like that, where the hype train was real, where he's going to be the best defensive lineman piece out there, interior lineman piece, but he's just going to end up falling flat in his face when he actually has grown physical men on him, as opposed to, the college level where you're a big guy, you can knock some people down on their butt. That's my main thing about Derrick Brown, and I don't think it has anything to do with him. I just really do fear about busting, and I believe Kandichi, honestly.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, there's always going to be risk with these guys, right? So that's why when you're going for the 8th pick, you have to make sure. I think that's what Steve Keim was trying to say without saying it. He was saying it doesn't matter, right? You never know what can happen. So you got to go with the most talented because of what you're saying right there. You got to go with the guy that looks the most sure. And if for me, I'm going to listen to my franchise quarterback that said, listen, I played with a guy that's telling you this guy he's not a bust. He plays his ass. So that's where you can go. It's easier to just do an interview, right? And you ever go on a job interview, you're going to say all the right things. You're going to do all the right things. But you don't know what's going to happen when this person comes for the job, right? It's a whole big difference. So it's a big difference for me.
Absolutely. Perfect. Yeah. So Mine is just based off of fear, and I understand that it's not the best way to like handle it. 100%. I know. I do not want to get Derek Brown. I feel like we can get somebody else in the third, fourth round or something like that. Maybe like a gem, somebody from Alabama, somebody from like one of those top tier, schools. Even LSU. There's a
like DeAndre Thompson we got from last year.
Well, DeAndre Thompson came out. He's pretty decent. I mean, he was thrown in the fire. He was a rookie, and he was kind of thrown into the fire. So, yeah, he got burned sometimes, but I really do feel like it's not really 100% his fault. Or was it Jalen?
Look at Murphy last. I love the pick we got last year. He's an animal. You know, it's hard if you look at our defense because there was so many little spots. He was one of the bright spots last year. He was doing really well on defense, and when you surround these guys with better players, all of a sudden these dominoes fall better, right? Remember when we had Matthew, our defense, we were doing so well when he was there, but the problem was he couldn't get into the playoffs, and things changed for him. But when he was there, look at the difference. That's why the Chiefs won last year. When he was playing for them, you need somebody that can change the game besides Chandler Jones. You need help. Patrick Peterson, Phillips, then you get guys like Brown, and then all of a sudden you don't need the pressure like Williams, like you said, from the Jets. All of a sudden, maybe he had a lot of pressure coming into it. But if you have a bunch of guys where the pressure's off of you, just like CeeDee Lamb, coming in, there's going to be no pressure on that guy, right? Because DeAndre Hopkins and Larry's there. You don't have to worry about that. So when the pressure's off, there's a big difference. That's what my opinion.
No, that's a straight up 100%. Because I think somebody said there was a quarterback that I heard talking at one point that said, hey, the reporter was gloating about them, saying, hey, you did a really good job. You're probably the next best quarterback. And he's like, I wouldn't be anything without my defensive linemen. Like, if they weren't causing the pressure to have the, quarterback panic, to be scared, to be put in that situation, he wouldn't make that dumb mistake. So honestly, it's where you surround yourself. I'm a 100% honest believer of being put in the right situation for you to flourish. I'm going to always believe that it's true. 100% true.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So do you guys have anything? Do you want to bring anything in your mind? We can start reading some comments. If you guys have any questions here, we can definitely go ahead and read some questions. Peter is our first time here during the show. So I encourage you guys. I love this guy's passion. If you've not subscribed to his channel, obviously there's Moro. He's been on the show. Subscribe to him. Subscribe to Peter. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get, YouTubers collaborating with each other, loving Cardinals, and, talking. So anybody have any questions for Peter? Anybody have some questions for Moro or me, Mike? It's up to you guys. Go ahead and put it in the comments below. We'll go ahead and definitely do our best to go ahead and read everything. But did you guys have anything, like any questions from you guys? No?
Well, let me ask you, do you think the 49ers, if the 49ers don't get a receiver coming up, say all the receivers are out, right? Who do you think they get? Do you think they trade, or do you think they go for a defender?
I think that at this point, if they do not go the wide receiver they want, I don't think it's Ruggs. I think they want to get Judy or they want to get CeeDee Lamb. If they could get Ruggs too. They could benefit from them. I think they'll go defensive line. I think
they want to get receiver.
Do you think if, say, for example, do you think they'll get Kinlaw to replace Buckner, right? Because just
100%.
Yeah, that's what I think.
100%. If the receiver doesn't fall to them that they want, they will go Kinlaw. And that can be dangerous too, because obviously Kinlaw.
Him and Bosa, oh my God.
They're defensive linemen. I mean, that's the thing too. Like, what if we got Nick Bosa? The thing is that like our defensive line is nowhere near their level. That we have Chandler Jones on the edge, but the interior pressure is not there from the Cardinals. So he might have been different if we got Nick Bosa.
Exactly what I'm trying to say. Bosa would have been good, but there was no way he's making the impact that Kyler does. Right? It's again who you're with. Bosa looked amazing being in the 49ers defense because he had help. That's exactly right. That's exactly what I'm saying. 100%.
Exactly. So we do have a question right here from Jesus Victorica. He's saying, how many wins do you think we'll get next year for the Cardinals? We don't know if it's going to be a shortened season yet. We don't know if we're going to be able to go to the games, but we can just give a overall prediction. How many things wins?
10.
Is it 17 games, right?
Yeah, there's still going to be 16. 17 weeks, but we have a bye week, so 16. 16 games.
Oh, 16, okay.
Rudy says 16 wins. King Stavo the Great says 7 to 10. Come on, Mario, you're on the spot.
I want to say 8.
You want to say 8? Okay, I'll go ahead and meet you guys
8.
right down the middle. I would say 9. I want to see the schedule and how it pounds out. I think we will be slipping into the playoffs because now we have that whole extra spot.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get lucky. Honestly, I think we're gonna get really lucky.
We got the sauce.
The Seahawks are always going to be the Seahawks because of Russell Wilson. The Rams are starting to fall. They have a terrible cap situation, which they don't know how to build themselves out of it. They put themselves in the grave.
And they don't have first round.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of rounds. And then we have the San Francisco 49ers, which, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, which is their GM. They're doing really good things over there. I hope they can fall off, but honestly, I don't see that. So
it's gonna be San Fran's gonna go, but I think Arizona's gonna finish second. I think they've done enough to beat Seattle now. They played look what they did. Drake is the key, right? Drake is the key to this. If Drake stays healthy, let's look at him last. And our offensive line for the run towards the end of the year was great. Drake was having like an awesome time, and he can catch, right? That's the big thing. So Arizona with that offense, just take a look at that offense. Even if we don't get CD, having Kyler the ability to run with Drake, and then having Hopkins and Larry and Kirk and Keisha, it's an insane team. And don't sleep on Dan Arnold because this guy can play. He's a good tight end. I think he's better than Clay. So I think he's going to even step up too for the offense.
Oh, yeah. My bad. Go ahead.
No, I just think the offense, we messed up a lot in the red zone last year. I don't see that happening anymore. We had so many chances last year. If you remember the games against the Ravens, against the Saints, we were in a lot of games. The game against the Steelers, we shouldn't have lost.
Oh, yeah.
We were in a lot of games. So there's things that we should have capitalized on that no way that happens this year with Hopkins. No way.
For sure. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I hope everything gets cleared up and we have a regular season like always. If it's not fans there, as long as we have football, I think I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I just want sports back, man. I'm missing my Diamondbacks right now. As you're a big Diamondback fan too, man, I'm missing it, bro. Honestly, I'm starting to feel it right now. So
I'm starting to watch more videos. It's getting rough.
Oh, I know, man. I seen you, man. I'm subscribed to your channel too, man. I know you've been trying to do anything you possibly can to keep videos out there, bro. And I commend it, bro.
About it anymore.
No, man. It's getting bad out here. Hopefully it comes back soon, but.
Yeah, man.
I mean, right now we're the Christmas Eve of the basically the draft right now. I'm super excited. Let's see what the questions are saying here. Everybody has a lot of questions here. Jace is saying, what are the chances Steve Keim actually pulls the trigger on CD Lamb?
I say 75%. I think he's fooling everybody. I think that end of the conversation where he joked about Kyler, where he said Kyler asked for this, and this. No, he didn't. Kyler just asked for a receiver, and that's it. He asked so I think. I'm sorry.
You're good. He kind of answered it like one of those people that are like obviously trying to tell a lie, or like kind of got caught up in saying, "Oh, dang, how do I answer this? Let me just do my best I possibly can to get out of the situation." That's how it kind of seemed like it all went down, to be honest with you. But Peter himself, he said 75%. He's going to be back. He said he'll be back.
Oh.
Yeah, he said he'll be back.
Sorry about that.
You're good, man. No worries.
I think he was fooling people, right? I think he was like last year. Remember?
Damn, that's a hard one. I kind of want to say 50 though.
Yeah, maybe. I'm being optimistic.
Right, exactly. And there's no shame in that, man. There's absolutely no shame. So he said 50%. We go CD. Okay. I'll go 52. I mean, honestly, I'll go 50% as well because you don't know if the Okudah, if they really like Okudah, if they really want to get the Isaiah Simmons if they fall. I think it really depends on who's available. So in our best interest, Peter, I think we should really hope that Isaiah Simmons, Okudah, all the people go before the 8th overall pick comes.
If we have a shot at any one of those guys, I'll be happy. I just don't want to run out of there with an offensive lineman and just go, okay, we just got the safe pick, Like, you got to go for it. You got to gamble here, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's dang true. All right, let's see what else. Yeah, it's a draft night, man. What else, right? I don't think they go. Okay, so we have Ace Norris saying, I don't think that they'll go O-line first round. Okay, I hope not either. King Rock says we lost Peter. No, he's back. He's alive. He's good. Soul Pancake says, is Moro gonna talk? Moro, you have some fans here that want me and Peter to shut up. Drop some knowledge, man.
Thank you about that. Well, let me bring up real quick. It's coming, and we're all excited, trying to get some, Christmas Eve, like chicken pizza or whatever in your table. But yes, it's gonna be after, yeah, it's gonna be a different experience because I'm pretty sure everything is gonna be virtual. But it's safe. It's draft. We're not gonna have like parties at the stadium like I did or other people did.
Right.
So it's kind of shame, but it's still a draft. So we're very excited here, and I know Mike, you're doing the live stream that day, so I want to see your face reaction.
Yeah, dude, I'm super excited about it. So I'm going to be doing the live stream. I guess it really depends on like if everybody's still here, if I'm going to do the full first round. But obviously, I'm going to be here during the Cardinals. But I'm going to be definitely doing my reaction because I swear, man, if it's going to be CeeDee Lamb, bro, like you're going to see some man tears, bro. I'll be super excited. But we'll see what happens. But we do have a Stormin Norman come in here clutch with the $5 donation. He says Cardinals have no problem scoring. We need to upgrade the defense, which we're cool with. Yeah, absolutely. I think we're all
can score. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all on board with saying defense is definitely a big need. O-line, if you do go that's cool. But then we all feel like it's a safe route at that point. But I mean, it is what it is. Free Matter for the Blind says K1 had plenty of time to throw, and KD went off when our O-line, Simmons or CD. Dang, so he is on the board with the CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, if Isaiah Simmons, he's definitely going to go and pull that trigger. But he's saying it himself here, too, that K1 had plenty of time. I don't think our offensive line was that bad. I'm going to be completely 100% honest here. I don't think that they were 100% bad. They're getting a lot of blame for the sacks that Kyler took because of his rookie mistakes.
There's a lot of injuries too.
Yeah.
Sweezy and Gilbert being injured hurt everything too. So, they spend money on these guys too. So if they come back healthy, that's a big thing right there, right? That's a whole big, hopefully if they come back healthy, then we don't need that. You know what it is, man? It's all about what the Giants pick up. If the Giants get worse, then everything changes.
100%. I don't want to switch over like the topic because this is Cardinal talk, but I found this kind of weird. If you guys want to put your own input into this, Ian Rappaport made a tweet. Obviously, he said that the Dolphins are doing their best to get into the third round spot, possibly not to get a quarterback, but to get an offensive lineman. Like, what do you guys think of that? Like, do you think that's a smokescreen? Like, or you think Miami's just being Miami and trying to do too much?
Yeah, Mauro, I want you to
Right, yeah, exactly. Did you hear about that tweet, Mauro, at all? That the Miami Dolphins are trying to like move up in the draft, but not to get a quarterback, not to get Tua. They're looking into getting a tackle.
Well, tough because Miami doing Miami things the last decade. So one quarterback left, it become like the comeback player of the year and leading almost a Super Bowl. So yes, and we got Kenyon Drake, stuff like that. We gave him some quarterback, as everyone knows the name. But if you're trying to fool us, there is. They're trying to get like a franchise offensive tackle like Eric Fisher, like in 2013, I believe, for Kansas City. Probably they're trying to be big. So we'll see. Draft night.
Yeah, man, dude, I'm super stoked about it. I honestly, I think it's Miami being Miami. No, I think it's smokescreen. I think they want Tua. I think that's what they want. I just think that they're trying to throw everybody off, like the Arizona Cardinals were trying to do with the whole Kyler Murray one when everybody knew damn well Kyler was going to get picked. Yeah, Peter, any insight on that?
Why? Why would they do that? They don't need to move up to get an offensive lineman, right? They're going to be there. The only guy that would not be there would be worse, right? So they still can get it. So that doesn't make that's ridiculous. Now, if they said they wanted to get a computer or something like that, I understand, but that doesn't make any sense.
It absolutely doesn't. Absolutely, 100% does not. I saw something on here. It kind of caught my eyes. It's from Jordan P. It says breaking news. Insider Mike Lombardi says Cardinals are looking to trade Reddick. Had anybody heard that? Hassan Reddick, I'm assuming. I didn't hear anything about it, but I'll look it up right now. That's interesting. I don't know who would want. Not to badmouth Hassan Reddick, but I don't know like what we would get in value for him. I'll look it up.
That's exactly what you got me doing.
Right? Yeah, six round pick or something. Hassan Reddick. Let's take a look here.
I have nothing in my news here.
Yeah, I have nothing on here either.
Probably some tweets. I think it's tweets.
I'll look into it deeper once we get off the stream. That's interesting.
There's a lot of rumors at this time, man. It's
True.
all like you said, smoke screens. They want
this offseason is crazy. So
yeah, very true. So King J Rock says, "What do you guys think about Jordan Love? Obviously, we're not going to go quarterback, but do you guys have like any like insight, or not really insight, but like, do you guys like him as a prospect?"
I
He's
think
from Utah State, right? Utah State, yeah.
He's from Utah, yeah.
Utah.
I think a lot of people have him going to the Patriots. A lot of people. I watched a few mock drafts said the Patriots. Belichick goes what Belichick wants to do. You know what I mean? Belichick has things in the mind. So honestly, I haven't watched that kid play too much. That's the truth.
For sure. Hey man, you're from New York, man.
Yeah.
What do they think about the New York? What do they say about the New York Giants? Like, do they really think it's going to be Simmons, or are they pretty much confused as well as we are?
They're throwing a couple of things. Simmons is up there, but a lot of people said worse. All of a sudden, I just can't imagine them getting with the four. I think Simmons is more of an impact player, right? Than worse. So why would you go for? If you look at the Giants play defense sometimes last year, it was awful. So just watching that team, and I know they need to protect their quarterback, but there's no way with the fourth pick you go for over Simmons. Simmons is too much an impact player, right? And I think there's no way that happens. But New York, there's way more rumors than Arizona.
Oh, I bet, man. That market is crazy. I can't even imagine like keeping up with all that craziness that happens over there. But we'll take it to the comments here for the next like 10 minutes or so. But man, it was a pleasure talking to both of you guys. It's awesome, man. Hopefully we can do this a little bit more, like later on when the season starts. It'd be really cool to kind of get together and build like a roundtables community and stuff like that. So let's see what people have to say here. Any questions?
Miss those days for the season doing game day vlogs,
Yeah, dude, I know, man. It probably might not happen this year, but we'll still get our So okay, let me ask you guys here if okay, here, this is an off crazy scenario here. What if Simmons and Okuda is available at 8? What would you guys do?
Oh my god.
Yeah, crazy scenario. I know, like probably wouldn't happen in a million years, but that's a good question. What route would you take? Would you go opposite side of Patrick Peterson, or would you get inside linebacker opposite side of Jordan Hicks?
Mara, you can go first.
I still want to go Simmons. I think it's a great prospect. I want to go Simmons. I still want to go Simmons. National champion, mentality, play very well, can get picks, so we need a pro-ready player, as we all say in the entire offseason, especially the mock draft. And I've been very excited to see Isaiah Simmons as a defensive player, because I like to see more defense on our team, because it's a flaw, especially the tight end coverage or orange.
Yeah, 100%.
Go ahead, Pete.
There's a reason Okuda is probably going number 3, right? Because I don't think you can pass up on a cornerback, man, like that. Because Patrick Peterson, if you can make Patrick Peterson guard the number 2 instead of the number 1 at this point, that would help his career a little bit. Because it looks like, again, I'm going to say this again, I don't know what it is, but it looks like he's going a little bit down. There was talks about him getting traded, So that's another thing that worries me also. So I'm not too sure. I would go cornerback, but he won't be there. I don't feel like he's going to be there at all.
Okay, no, I respect that. Okay, perfect. So I have a question here specifically to me. So it's addressed to me, so I'm going to go ahead and read it. It says, Mr. Mike, would you be interested in doing live streams on game day and doing like live reactions? So the thing with like game day reaction, like to like games, like to me personally, games, I don't feel like you would want to watch me. I'm like super quiet. I'm sitting at the front of the screen. I kind of don't want to be bugged. It's kind of like I have that weird mentality when I'm watching games. I don't like going to sports bars because I like to hear the game and actually watch the game.
He did against Falcons. Better watch it.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. So like, I don't know. I can't see myself doing like an actual game day, like facing myself. I don't know. I just probably not. No. Sorry, just to answer your question. Sorry, man. No, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, it's tough. It is tough.
Yeah, because I mean, like, you're just gonna be like watching me stare at something, and I just don't feel like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
You have a lot of pressure on you to make reactions and just
Exactly, and I'm gonna be pissed off because we're losing games, and it's just gonna be terrible, man. I don't feel like it would go well for anything. All right, let's see what else anybody has to say here. So, what about Michael Pittman in the second round, third round? Don't need CeeDee Lamb with Hopkins trade. More important needs than wide receiver. So Keith Junior Tucker here says pretty much like what we were saying in the beginning of the show here. He would go Michael Pittman. Do you guys are aware? Obviously, we can't go second because we don't have a second right now. But if we did, is that somebody that you would get?
Well, I'm sorry. I don't know if you want to go first or me.
You can go, Peter.
I'll go for yeah.
Okay, so
go.
If Michael Pittman, right? If you watch this guy, man, he's an animal. Like he reminds me of Mike Evans a little bit. So he's I don't see him being there. Not even close to the third round. So unless we have a second round pick, he's not going to be there. Some people actually have him towards the end because the Packers need a receiver. So if all these receivers are going to be gone, like a guy like Claypool also is another one who may be going towards the left. So these are the Brandon Ayuk. All these guys at the end may be going. So I'm not sure about Pittman if he's even going to be there. But yeah, he's good, man. He's good for sure.
Okay, so that's the thing though. Like if we do go offensive line, let's say we go the safe route, offensive line in the first. On the third round, I don't feel like a wide receiver is. Here's my mentality, and I'm going to be 100%. If we're not getting the best wide receiver, don't get a wide receiver. Like, don't. Like, there's no point. Go defense. Try to fill in your team. Like, there's no point. If you don't want to get CeeDee Lamb, which is the best wide receiver, or, right there with Jerry Jeudy, like, if you're not on board with getting him in the first round, don't even look at him. I mean, there's no point at that point. You're gonna get another person riding the bench, another Andy Isabella. Nothing to do with him. It's probably more Cliff Kingsbury than Andy Isabella, but he's just going to be riding the bench at that point. It makes no sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
King Rock Jason.
A cornerback.
Yeah. A lot of people want to go cornerback too, which is cool with me. I mean, if you want to get a little bit more depth, if you feel like Robert Alford, is still not 100% with this whole leg injury. He went through a big season injury, any injury with his leg. So yeah, going quarterback would be cool. I mean, definitely have no problem with that later on in the rounds. Or I heard C.J. Henderson, I believe his name is. If they do end up trading back further back, he's a possibility. But I don't know.
What about a punter?
A punter? Oh, Jesus. We have Andy Lee still, don't we?
Can we get Michael Turk? He's balling there.
Yeah. Time was talking about we need a returner. We do need somebody on special teams also that can help us out a little bit. There's a few guys there also. So look for them to get somebody a little bit later. And they're looking for a running back. Again, I know everybody's thinking Drake, but look what happened last year with Edmonds and Johnson going down. So they're looking to get a running back with one of those picks.
Moss.
Expect that to happen too.
Yeah, they did an interview with Zach Moss. So maybe fourth round, maybe they'll go ahead and pick up another running back, which would definitely be good for more depth. Because you're right, I don't want to experience the Zenner or Alfred Morris in our backfield again. I'm not down with it.
I play DraftKings a lot, and I couldn't even look at that, man, when I seen it. It was rough to watch.
So bad, man, so bad. Let's see here. We'll answer a few more questions here, and then we'll go ahead and cut it short. You guys, if you guys have any specific questions for Peter directly or Morrow directly, definitely put it in the comments below. Let's see here. Draft Jonathan Williams. I don't know who's that. Maybe I'm blanking right now. Okay, here's one here. So Keith Junior Tucker says, what about what about P2 trade? I think we can get a first round pick for him, saying that the Rams got a second for Brandon. Drop everything Cooks. So he's on the board with maybe trading Patrick Peterson.
I'm actually not too bad with that, honestly. I can see that happening. One, with the contract, and two, again, if we keep Peterson, I'm a fan of him, right? But if we give or take, he seems like he wanted to go the last few years too. He's been frustrated. He's been angry. So I'm not going to lie to you. I wouldn't be too upset if he goes.
Yeah. I mean, if we can get another first round pick, absolutely. I think I would be on board with that. Honestly, after the second, diva thing that happened with Patrick Peterson, I kind of got a little bitter at him. I know at the golfing tournament. He said, "Hey, I'm here to stay," and all that different stuff, whatever you want to hear. But I honestly kind of took that to offense. But yeah, if he ends up going, he ends up going. I wouldn't trade Chandler Jones. I want him to retire here. I love Chandler Jones. He's nothing but good things for our defense in general.
He shouldn't be allowed out of the state.
Oh, heck no. Yeah. Absolutely not. Let's see here. So the draft starts at 5 p.m. Cardinals should pick around 6:30 if they don't trade.
Mountain time?
Yeah, no, I think it's our time, Arizona time.
Oh.
I think it starts at 5, yeah. 5:10 is when the first pick is going to happen. We'll be doing a live stream here. We'll meet around, let's say 4:30. I wanted to say 4:10, but I'm barely get off to work. I need to like rush home and stuff like that. So let's say 4:30. We meet back here Arizona time. If you guys are available, you can always come in, party it up. We're just gonna do like a quick stream and talk about, I don't know.
Make sure you put that pizza and chicken.
Yeah, right, exactly, man. I'll be getting burritos, hot pockets, all that different stuff, right, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, no, absolutely. Let's see here. Last question here. I'm gonna go ahead and give me your best question on the chat right now, and I'll go ahead and see if I can read a couple of them. Best question for Morrow, Peter, or myself.
Go subscribe to the Arizona Sports Center, Peter.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, not really a question, but just for the new people that came in, we have Morrow Tanaka here. He has his own YouTube channel. Great content, really awesome stuff. And then we have Peter here. Shout out your name again because you changed it recently. And
yeah, I'm sorry, guys, that I changed it just for the fact that I was starting with MLB, but honestly, I kept talking about every other sport. So it's Sports, Hot Rumors, and Debates. So hopefully you guys subscribe. I'd much appreciate it.
Yeah, perfect. Absolutely. If you want to see, bloody truth and maybe the occasional slip up of the F-bomb, Peter is your channel, man. I promise you, man. You will have some entertainment watching this stuff.
Just subscribed.
Right. So this guy here, Francisco 928 says, if we draft Simmons, will he replace Campbell or get benched? Ooh, great question.
Ooh.
Great question. I think it's going to be a battle between what happens in the preseason. Yes, they will probably want Isaiah Simmons to start, but I would hope that the Vance Joseph would not put him in that position where if he doesn't catching it 100%, like he might have to bench it for a little bit. But do you think he's going to be like an automatic starter, guys, in the NFL level?
I would like to see competitiveness. That's all.
Yeah,
competition.
Absolutely. Nobody's bigger than the game, right? So the guy can't just come out here getting this. You have to earn him. Exactly what you said, Maura. 100% right.
Love it. Love it. Okay, perfect. I've been seeing this a lot here. Trade for O.J. Howard.
Yeah, now all of a sudden we don't need him.
Right, we don't. Yeah, cool. Morrow, same boat. Nah.
Negative.
All right, cool. Negative Ghost Rider. Perfect. I love it. All right, last question here. I'm going to go ahead and read, and I really do appreciate every single one of you guys for being here. All 71. I think we hit like 80 people at one point, so thank you so very much for coming, guys, spending some time with us and stuff. So Stormin Norman says, thank you guys for dedicating your channels for the Arizona sports. I know there isn't a lot of channels, but I believe our community will grow. How many years does Larry Fitzgerald actually have? I think this might be his last year, if not one more year, but I hope it's his last year. And I'm sorry to say it, but just for the cap room, I feel like we can allocate that money somewhere else. Your guys' thoughts.
Get that jersey signed.
Get your jersey signed for
sure. Jersey signed.
What do you think, Mara?
I'd like to see two more years.
So this year and then one other year?
He's a face. He's a face. He's a face of the Cardinals, and he's definitely like most loved person in the NFL, and it's going to be a Hall of Fame for sure. So we will sports science has evolved. We see old players still competing at a high level, and especially we now have a supportive cast like D Hop and probably more in the draft. So I would like to see I know he's still has a passion to play. So I like to see two more years and call whenever he thinks he's done.
Perfect. Awesome.
And I respect it.
How many more years do you think?
Extended him 2 more years.
You think 2 more? So this year and the next
year? And I think because if they do well this year, he's so hungry for that ring that if they really do well and go to the playoffs, there's no way he's not coming back.
That's true. Yeah.
If anyone deserves a ring, it's that man.
100%, guys. I really do appreciate every single one of you guys. Hank Hill, Race Phoenix. Go ahead and put like these little fist bumps like we usually do at the end of the channel in the chat. I'll go ahead and see if I can shout out as much as people as we possibly can here. It was fun, man. Thank you so much. I hope good things for the Arizona Cardinal fans. If we want to do this, later on, definitely let me know. Hit me up on Twitter. You have my email address, Peter. Let's see if we can make this happening, especially for years to come, and hopefully be the faces of the Arizona sports on YouTube.
Thank
All
you,
right, guys. Pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Thank you so very much. Don't leave yet. I'll talk to you guys before. Don't leave yet, okay? All right, later, guys. Peace out. It's been fun. Later.